Hey there. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. We're cruising on by for this one today. I'm talking about yet another one of Yu Suzuki's arcade classics, OutRun. One of the first of its kind. So, sit back, relax, grab yourself a snack and a drink as I tell you all about this gem of a classic. Let's grab our keys, get in our cars, and go for a drive. This is OutRun. Here we go. Released in 1986, OutRun is the third game designed with AM2's revolutionary hydraulic motion simulator deluxe arcade cabinet style. Now, what the heck did I just say? Well, let me show you. The first sort of hydraulic motion simulator game released from Sega that I can possibly think of would be Hang On, which was basically Yu Suzuki's first game. And, as you can tell by just looking at it, the cabinet is literally a motorcycle. The experience of the game is supposed to simulate riding a motorcycle, and OutRun is designed to simulate driving a car. These two games, in my opinion, are the first two games that use Suzuki's philosophy of putting relatability in a video game was birthed from. I mean, I'm sure that most of us out there may never get the chance to ride a real motorcycle, fly a real plane, or doing whatever it is that you're doing in Space Harrier. But to drive a car? That is, within a mind style, absolutely one of the most relatable things to ever do in your life for almost any given human being over the age of 14. Now, to drive something like a Ferrari would indeed be a fairly beautiful treat, but that's besides the point. If you have ever driven a car before, chances are that you've probably enjoyed it, which to me seems like you may possibly enjoy playing the likes of OutRun. And the best part is, you don't need a hydraulic motion simulator deluxe arcade cabinet in order to enjoy it. Whew, man, try saying that 5 times fast. No siree Bob, Sega has actually ported the game onto multiple machines. From the Master System all the way up to the Dreamcast, you can play OutRun on practically every major Sega home console and beyond. The footage that I'm probably showcasing here is from my very own Genesis gameplay footage. And as for the other ports, we're going to get to those in just a moment. For now, we're going to take a look or listen at the music of OutRun. Composed by Hiroshi Kawaguchi, or just simply known as Hiro, OutRun's soundtrack is nothing less than iconic. There are only just about 4 songs that play in the entire game, specifically for the arcade original, and those 4 songs are absolutely legendary. You have the 3 main tracks that you can actually choose from before you even start driving in the game. OutRun might just be the first game, or at least definitely one of the first ever, to have a music selection menu. That's pretty cool. The songs to choose from are simply titled Magical Sound Shower, track A, which is the track you've heard from before, Passing Breeze, track B, which is what's currently playing in the video, and track C, Splash Wave, which you'll definitely hear later in this video. Now, as for the 4th track, Last Wave, we'll cover that one later. For now, here is an actual quote from Hiro, on which he comments on the music. I couldn't find the actual quote itself anywhere currently online, except for one source, Sega Bits' very own podcast show, Sega Talk, with your hosts, George and Barry. I have been a big fan of these guys for years, and interestingly enough, OutRun was their very first Sega Talk episode that they have ever done. So, with that being said, take it away, Barry. Let's hear from your very own voice what Hiroshi Kawaguchi said about his very own work.
When we decided that we were going to use the arranged version of the original music, I sure wondered what kind of concept I should use. I wondered if I should try to make it as close as possible to the original. I also wondered if I should go for a completely different approach. Well, I finally told myself it was alright as long as it sounded cool, so I let myself go free composing this version. I'm pretty sure that everyone has their own image about the game, but please just accept the fact that this is indeed the BGM for OutRun 96 version. I liked the song Passing Breeze, the best among the 4 titles that I had arranged. At first, I liked Magical Sound Shower, but this Passing Breeze is really good. The melody that makes you feel sorrowful and the atmosphere, it is hard to explain how great the song is. Splash Wave was completed with techno flavor since the other project was going on at the same time with Splash Wave, was the music with techno touch. Also, I arranged Last Wave being conscious to make it fresh. Please listen to the song at the end of summer when you are all by yourself in the dusk at the beach. These songs are revived versions of the songs I made 10 years ago, but they still sound great after a little arrangement. If I mentioned that I am now interested in arranging other songs, I might end up with more work, I guess. Well, this work is like my hobby, so I don't mind doing it anyway.
Thank you kindly for that, Barry. And I practically agree with everything that Hero had said here about his own music. Passing Breeze is easily my favorite track in the game. For one, it's always the track that seems to be picked by default in the music select menu. It's also the one that I feel best complements what this game set out to do in the first place, to be a relaxing driving gaming experience. Now, that is what Yu Suzuki wanted to make. He's been known to quote the game as such to be a relaxing experience. But unfortunately, OutRun is not always a relaxing game to play, which leads me to my next section into this video, the actual gameplay. If you've never played this game before, you are going to crash a lot. Plus, there are other cars in the road while you're cruising, and again, this game for its time absolutely did its best to simulate real driving, with one exception, right there in the upper left hand corner of the screen. Yup, that's right, there's a timer. I'm not entirely sure if Yu Suzuki wanted this timer in the final release of the game or not, but it's possible to believe not only that he did, but obviously Sega was keen on it too. It just adds more reason for people to want to keep adding in quarters into the machine, but that's besides the point. This game, much like every other game ever made, does take time to get right if you've never played before. There is a learning curve, and it can take quite a bit of time to learn how to get it right, especially if you're only 6 years old. I know. What do you think, Bubble? I guess you could say it's kind of like learning how to drive in real life. The more you do it, the better you will be at it, and it always helps to have someone with you to guide you through it. Okay, now I'd like to talk about the different ports of the game. First off, we have the Sega Master System port or build of the game. And, believe it or not, this is an 8-bit console, like the Nintendo Entertainment System. Doesn't look too bad for 8-bit now, does it? It also plays fairly well. The controls are smooth, and you can change the speed of the car by pressing up and down on the D-pad. Overall, the Master System version is pretty good. I used to own it, but this is actually captured off a EverDrive. If you personally want to experience OutRun on the Sega Master System, there is nothing wrong with that. Next up, we have the version that I have been showing off the most so far, the Sega Genesis port. At the time, this was pretty dang close to the arcade original, which was a common trope for a lot of Sega Genesis or Mega Drive games. It's fairly incredible, and I'm so happy to own it. It plays really well, and you can even change a bit in the options menu too, for the overall experience. I think this is the first version of the game to have an easy mode. After that, I believe next up is the Saturn version. This one right here is basically just the arcade game truly ported to home consoles, pretty much for the first time. This is, without a mind's doubt, the best way to play OutRun at home on a Sega branded machine. It has also been technically ported over to the Dreamcast, but not as its own separate release. There are 2 Dreamcast games I know of at least that's definitely in. Yu Suzuki's GameWorks Volume 1 and of course Shenmue 2. Out of those 2 games, I feel as though Shenmue 2 is the most accessible one, especially since you can play the game on most modern day platforms. It technically isn't too difficult to track down or experience Yu Suzuki's GameWorks Volume 1 if you really wanted to, especially if you want to set sail on the high seas, if you catch my drift. I seriously doubt Sega would even mind or care about that for an old game like this. However, the ports don't just stop at Shenmue 2. There are a ton of other games that OutRun has been ported to, along with genuine sequels. I remember or believe the first time I've ever been able to actually play OutRun was right here in Yakuza 0. Or maybe it was the 3DS. But this was the arcade original. This is the first time I ever got to play it. Thankfully, this isn't the only Yakuza or RGG game that it has ever been ported to. As I have already shown, there are other titles that you can also play OutRun in. It's also been officially released for Nintendo Switch, but it's digital only through the Sega Ages collection. This port, aside from the 3DS version, as I mentioned earlier, might just be the best part of the game. You can do a lot of different little customizations in the Switch version. For one, you have a lot more song options to choose from in the music select menu. You can also change the look of the game to practically however you like to, with smoothing and different backgrounds and whatnot in the borders. Yeah, a lot of modern retro games do that, or re-releases, but still, it's pretty cool that's here. You can even make the game as easy as possible by turning off all cars and extending the time limit up to 99 seconds or so. Granted, you still have to be very careful while driving, as to not crash into any signs or rocks on the sides of the roads. The Sega Ages, or Switch version of the game, and the 3DS port are essentially the same game. Kind of. And again, unless if you sail the high seas, it's practically impossible to play this game on the 3DS in today's age and time. Even so, this is the version that I'm still trying to finish. I really enjoy this one the most, I think. That's right, I haven't even beaten the game yet. But for a game like OutRun, I don't think you necessarily have to in order to fully enjoy it or to even talk about it in a video like I'm doing right now. The game isn't really about getting to the goal or racing against the clock or even finishing it to the end. It's about experiencing the drive. And that's one thing about this game that I will be forever grateful for. you guys know that OutRun is actually inspired by a movie titled The Cannonball Run? Pretty cool, no? It stars Burt Reynolds, Jackie Chan, and was directed by Hal Needham. If you haven't seen it, I don't entirely blame you. It's an older, underrated film, and it doesn't have the best ratings on Rotten Tomatoes. However, it does seem pretty funny as well. It does have my interest, that's for sure. I'll watch it at some point probably, after this video is finished. The score of OutRun even inspired the Ryan Gosling film Drive. Now, if you haven't seen Drive, you're seriously missing out. But anyway, that's enough talking about movies. I want to talk about this chill, relaxing track you're hearing right now, Last Wave. This is the song that Hero was mentioning earlier in the video about listening to it at the end of summer. And yeah, I absolutely agree with that sentiment. At the time of this video being posted on YouTube, summer of 2025 will almost be over. So find yourself one of your favorite spots to visit, have a seat, and listen to this song. It may move you to tears, but it's worth it, right? Well guys, this has been my review of the 1986 arcade classic game simply known as OutRun. Thank you all again for watching and enjoying, or at least I'd hope that you've enjoyed it. And of course, a huge loving shout out and special thanks to my beautiful daughter, River. I couldn't have made this video without her. She means the world to me, so please stay nice and respectful of the comments, okay? And speaking of comments, if you did happen to like my video, make sure to comment, like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more game reviews similar to this one in the future. I think I'm going to do one on Streets of Rage next. With that being said, I hope that you all have a wonderful day or evening depending on when you're watching this, and you're spending it with loved ones. Thanks again guys, and sayonara. Till next time. I beat the game? What? No way! No, I didn't. Oh my god, I just beat OutRun for the first time.
Congratulations!
Wow, I just beat the game. That's awesome and funny. There's the girl. It's just like the Genesis ending. The two girls come out. Or, I mean, that one girl. Okay, and they throw them up in the air. That's funny. Awesome. Wow. I want to try to get the other endings. I hope I can. I just beat OutRun. I didn't even realize it. My favorite I think this is the first version of the game I may have ever played. I don't know, but I think it is. And it's my favorite version too, so... Yeah. Cornering in the tune-up menu, this lets you take corners easier. Well, good. Thank God for that.